Before the cohort shares their stories, Troy Hunter, Director of Research, Evaluation, and Performance, is going to kick us off. I met Troy at our in-person storytelling workshop at the Columbus Metro Library in September. We chatted via Zoom a couple times before that, but from the very beginning, I saw that Troy is open and vulnerable. He shared about his excitement for the new role. He shared about his nervousness about meeting the cohort for the first time. He shared anecdotes about his experience and his visions for the future, and it was refreshing and relaxing. And immediately I liked him. To be fair, I like most people when I meet them, but in Troy's case, it was appropriate. Troy is passionate about the Groundwork mission, and Troy cares. He cares about the children of Ohio, he cares about his coworkers, and he cares about the advocates. And he is driven to make a difference. So let's welcome Troy Hunter to the stage.
Thank you, Bridget. I have had the wonderful pleasure of getting to spend the last few months with our Early Childhood Leadership Fellowship. I was really excited to come to Groundwork, but was even more excited in the moment to get to meet all of these people who had a shared interest as I did. I've worked in a multitude of different roles in early childhood, including inclusive early childhood, child care program administrator, social worker, early intervention provider, early child and infant mental health practitioner. But my first job was an early childhood teacher. I was a lot younger, had a lot more energy, a lot less gray hairs than I do now, and I thought I was going to change the world. And like every other 22-year-old with a bachelor's degree, I thought that I knew everything until I met Alex. Alex was one of my favorite kids that I worked with in my entire time as a teacher, as an intervention provider, and probably has taught me the most about not just early childhood, but life. He would come in every day. He had curly black hair, big brown eyes, brown skin, a gap in the middle of his teeth, and he couldn't pronounce his R's, so he liked Twux and shoes that made him run fast. And I loved Alex. He would come into the classroom with a confidence that said, "You now can start the day because I am here." And he would grin at me, and I would smile back at him. And then as he would turn his gaze from me, and we look around the classroom, he would see a classroom full of kids and adults that did not look like him. And he would hear murmurs under people's breath: bad, misbehaved, out of control. In addition to Twux, Alex loved to run fast. So fast that sometimes he would run right out of the classroom. He loved to play with toys by dumping them onto the ground. He loved to engage in adventurous feats, like jumping off of furniture and climbing onto tables. And sometimes he liked to play with his friends by hitting them. Our behavior team said, Alex is doing these things for attention. So the last thing that we can do is give him attention for the things that he's not supposed to be doing. So they came up with a plan. We're gonna ignore Alex when he's doing what we don't want him to do, and we're gonna give him attention when he's doing things that we want him to do. So he came in the next day, like any other day, with a grin that said, "Catch me if you can." And again, he would leave my gaze and my smile, and he would walk around the room looking around for someone to make eye contact with him. And again and again, people's eyes would look the other way, until eventually he was playing alone, until I was able to come over and play with him later. So it was time for group time, and we're sitting on the carpet, and Alex is anywhere to be found but the carpet. Now, mind you, I was really good at group time. I loved to read and sing and be silly with the kids. It was criminally offensive that he did not want to sit and do what I wanted him to do. And I asked myself, why doesn't he want to join in with what we're doing? But I remained steadfast, and I read my story to the kids. And as that was going on, Alex is zipping across the room. And he would pause, and he would look over at me. Like a good soldier, I stay focused on the kids on the carpet. Then he would go over, and he'd dump toys, specifically Legos, all over the carpet. And he'd look over at me. I was unbreakable. Finally, he climbed onto the table and waved his hands up and down as I was reading my story. I remained stone cold. So then he came up to me while I was sitting on the carpet, he grabbed my face, and he stared at me with his big brown eyes, and he said, "Look at me." I paused, and I remembered some other things about Alex. I remembered that he was just recently in the foster care system, that he still had a relationship with his mom. He would talk about how he missed her and how he wanted to see her again. He would ask where she was. He would draw pictures for her, and sometimes he would cry. So I unpaused after what probably felt like a million toddler seconds at the time, and I gave him a hug, and I said, "I love you, Alex. Would you like to join our group time?" And he said no, and he continued to run around the classroom. And our behavior team thought they knew what Alex needed. I thought that I knew what Alex needed, but Alex knew what Alex needed. He didn't need to be ignored, he needed to be seen. He wasn't looking for attention, he was looking for love. And I share that story because it's the first lesson that I learned about working with children and families. I don't know what this family needs. I don't know what this child needs, but they do. And the same is true for our early childhood educators and professionals in the state. You guys know what we need. So the importance of your voice and the importance of your stories is invaluable. We need you guys for advocacy just as much as you need us at Groundwork Ohio. So the stories that you're going to hear today are powerful, not because they're crafted or because they're well told. They're powerful because they're true. And they're powerful because they're your stories. And those stories are what is going to take us to being the best place to be a young child. Thank you.